And with the way that brands are churning out bags as well, how are authenticators supposed to keep up with what these bags are supposed to look like? You know, you look at Louis Vuitton and they're releasing a bag every damn week. How are authenticators supposed to determine what this new release bag is supposed to look like compared to a super fake? Because to be honest, the super fakes are also churning out bags at the same rate as these top brands. But my argument is it even worth buying any bags anymore? Because the boutique is also so damn expensive and is sometimes the same quality as a super fake. So what the hell are we even doing? And if the top brands actually have their paws in the fakes market anyway, well then the whole thing is just a giant big joke, isn't it? Like a big scam. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. If you love shopping and handbag videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. I've always been one to shop secondhand and pre-loved. I've been very much into buying secondhand things, probably ever since I was a uni student. So buying secondhand clothes, finding designer clothes in the op shop. I always loved finding deals and like things for $20, $50, whatever. And you know, when you're shopping pre-loved in an op shop or a thrift store, even if you accidentally buy a fake item, you're not losing thousands of dollars. You just might, you know, lose $50 or $20. But when you're shopping at a consignment store, a handbag consignment store, you're spending thousands of dollars, right? And if you accidentally buy a fake bag and you don't realize until like 10 years later, that can be a bit devastating, you know, because by then maybe that consignment store doesn't exist anymore and you can't get your money back. And the truth is, I feel like as time goes by, the pre-love market is getting more and more contaminated with outlet bags, so outlet grade bags, fake bags, and super fake bags. So fake bags that look as good as the real thing. And I feel like we're at a point now, whereas I used to really endorse shopping pre-love because I found, you know, it's a way to access handbags because you don't necessarily want to play a game at Chanel or Hermes or wherever, and you're able to be sustainable as well and enjoy collections from the past. But it's getting to the point where I feel like it's almost too risky. You know, what spurred on this train of thought for me was the whole Cosette issue. A Current Affair have been reporting about Cosette selling allegedly fake bags, and it's kind of said that they're buying them from maybe a supplier who provides them with a mixture of authentic bags and fake bags. I have a theory that a lot of these Prada and Gucci bags that they have in their store are outlet grade bags because, you know, it is a fact that Prada and some Kering brands like Gucci and Saint Laurent, Celine have outlets, and even brands like Fendi and Dior have outlets. So some brands do make bags for outlets and they are of poor quality. And one of my friends yesterday sent me a picture of a Prada re-edition bag that they bought at a Prada outlet that was $1,000, so it's considerably cheaper than the original Prada pochette bag, but the make of it is a lot cheaper and it's just poorer quality. So it is possible that Cosette was buying from the grey market these kind of outlet bags. And I have a theory that some of these people who bought these bags from Cosette may have bought fake bags indeed, because sometimes, you know, fake bags can get mixed up in the boutiques. You know, customers do dodgy things, staff do dodgy things. It's just a unfortunate fact. But it is possible, especially with the Prada bags, that they were outlet grade. And maybe authenticators such as Entropy and Real Authentication or, you know, whatever, they cannot distinguish the difference between a authentic bag from the boutique and an authentic bag from the outlet. And why am I going on this tangent of talking about this? Well, when this comes to the pre-love market, if authenticators can't even tell the difference between an outlet bag, an authentic boutique bag, and a super fake bag, because let's be honest, a lot of these authenticators will not authenticate new Chanel bags now because the super fakes are so damn good. Some Gucci bags I've seen that are super fakes are really, really, really close to the original and almost impossible to authenticate. If things are becoming impossible to authenticate, and if we cannot fully trust online authentication, because to be fair, we're literally just sending random pictures to a website. We don't know who's at the, you don't know what expertise these people have. To be honest, I probably have more of an expert eye than a lot of these authenticators that they've hired on the RealReal or on eBay or wherever. If you're somebody who is passionate about handbags, you probably have a better eye than some of these authenticators. But we're putting all our trust in these authenticators, and so are consignment stores, and we're just assuming that they're correct. But how do we know they're correct, guys? Because sometimes you might, get a Gucci bag authenticated. One authenticator will say it's real, one will say it's fake. My friend bought some Chanel bags from the boutique, sent them to get authenticated, and they said that they were fake. And they know for a fact they were real. So what I'm trying to say is do some research into how reputable these authenticators are. Unfortunately, the honest truth for me is that I've bought so many bags on the pre-loved market, which I've got authenticated a few times, and they've all come back as real. So I am kind of, hoping that they're all real, to be honest. But, unless you buy it directly from the boutique, how do you know? Is it even worth buying bags at the boutique anymore? I know that's crazy to say, but when a Chanel bag costs $10,000 or $15,000 in Australia for a classic flap, and you can get a super fake, like a really, really good fake that is literally better quality than the actual Chanel bag, and you pay $600, well, I mean, it's the same thing, isn't it? And Jacob, actually, I was talking to Jacob the other day, and he has this theory that maybe even some of the top brands like LVMH and Chanel, they could own some of these fake factories. How do we know if they don't want a piece of the pie? They are making billions of dollars. We know most people are not rich, okay? Most people who are buying these $15,000 Chanel bags are not the average person. So how are they making their money? I mean, it's not unbelievable that they might be getting their little paws in the fake market as well, right? So what I'm trying to say is, we can't fully trust authentication services, so how can we fully trust any consignment store? I know that there are people out there who have an eye for authentication, such as like Bubba Baby and Zico, who even Zico will only authenticate certain Chanel bags in real life because that's how good the super fakes have got. But the problem is there is not enough people or true authenticators in the world who have studied one brand and that's it. I, to be honest, would trust Zico and Bubba Baby because they have been studying one brand for over a decade. And they do it is their profession, right? It's their job. But there is not many people who are that skilled in one brand, let alone a brand like Gucci or Saint Laurent or even Louis Vuitton. I don't know anybody in the world who just specializes in that one brand. And with the way that brands are churning out bags as well, how are authenticators supposed to keep up with what these bags are supposed to look like? You look at Louis Vuitton and they're releasing a bag every damn week. How are authenticators supposed to determine what this new release bag is supposed to look like compared to a super fake? Because to be honest, the super fakes are also churning out bags at the same rate as these top brands. So how can an authenticator really have an eye for authentication and have a complete database of bags in their head to truly know how to authenticate? It is impossible. It is getting impossible to authenticate things, guys. The only thing that I feel like is probably safe is things from the 90s or even the early 2000s, because things were just made differently back then. And, you can also see in bags from the 90s or the 2000s, the aging on the bag, or it looks like it was probably from that time. So if you are going to shop pre-loved, honestly, it's probably safer to buy something like that, something more vintage, or it's probably safer to buy something directly from the boutique if you're going to do that. Or if you're going to shop pre-loved, maybe buy something that is new with receipt, and then I don't know, if it's an Hermes bag, you could take it to Hermes to get sparred, and if it's, you know, if they spar it for you, then you know it's authentic. That could be a way to authenticate for sure, because I feel like you could definitely trust them. But if it's a brand like Gucci or Saint Laurent or even like Prada, you're buying it secondhand, there are so many super fakes and like outlet bags of these styles. Like, it's getting really hard to tell the difference, and it's just super risky to buy from either a third party like Cosette, or even, you know, I know a lot of people into Satire. I think they are just as bad as Cosette. I don't know why no one's giving them crap, because to be honest, they're probably even worse. I've seen a lot more dodgy reviews about them, and, you know, it's a big risk, basically, buying anywhere but from the boutique. But my argument is it even worth buying any bags anymore? Because the boutique is also so damn expensive and is sometimes the same quality as a super fake. So what the hell are we even doing? And if the top brands actually have their paws in the fakes market anyway, well then the whole thing is just a giant big joke, isn't it? Like a big scam. And at the end of the day, I feel like I am so loyal to like a brand like Hermes because I'm so caught up in the story and like the collectability of it and like that sort of thing. And I will still, to be honest, buy bags from Hermes. Probably I'll take a risk pre-loved and from the boutique, which is, you know, annoying that I still have this viewpoint, knowing like what I've like, it's just hard for me to accept these like, I don't know, these realizations that I've been having lately. And I've been talking to Jacob a lot about this too, Super Jacob. And yeah, it's just, we're starting to think like there is no value in buying or spending so much money at a boutique when the market is completely infested with fakes and crap quality bags at this point. And, you know, luxury is not really special anymore because it's all over social media. Everyone has it. And I know this kind of sounds like a really negative video, but when it comes, you know, I had a bit of an addiction to shopping pre-loved, and now kind of questioning authenticators and whether they're really that trustworthy, it has kind of changed my viewpoint of it a little bit. And unfortunately, because designer bags are so easy to fake now and brands are okay to overproduce bags, they've kind of lost their luster a little bit, and they're just like the money we pay for them, doesn't really make any sense anymore. So anyway, has the Cosette thing kind of made you look differently at handbags? Because it kind of put me down a rabbit hole of questioning the grey market and, you know, what brands are really achieving here and what is this going to do for handbags long term. Because I think if the world is oversaturated with outlet bags, super fakes and authentic bags, then it just makes all bags seem like that. I feel like it definitely affects the value of all handbags. And if the pre-love market is going to be harder to navigate, it kind of devalues all bags, and basically no bag will have resale value. Basically, if it gets more serious, which it will, because fakes are not dying, then we cannot kill off fake bags, or brands will choose to continue to overproduce bags and make outlet bags. Like, it's just, there is no value in handbags long term if that is what is going to keep on happening, I think anyway. Maybe some handbags, like, you know, to be honest, I think Hermes is pretty safe still because they don't overproduce, but at the same time, what about the super fakes? Like, that's still an issue. So anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. It's something I'm still trying to wrap my head around, and something I still have to kind of like, you kind of just have to see what happens, I guess. But I really do think that shopping pre-loved is going to be a lot more challenging in the future, and it's going to be a thing that I think people will not be really willing to take a risk on as much as they used to. Thanks for listening to my video. Just had to blab on about that today, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one. Bye!